We've just completed a rough crossing of the Bay of Biscay, and the conditions haven't eased up on us much here.
It's the whole beach.
We're sailing the Galician coast and what's known as the Coast of Death. Welcome to Sailing Jibsea. 2 years ago, we knew nothing about sailing, but took off from Canada with an urge for adventure. I'm Steph, this is Travis, and this is our home, Jibsea. We moved quickly and in a short time have made it down south and even crossed an ocean, but we still have a whole lot more of the world to see. Subscribe and join our life on the water.
Good morning! We are officially anchored down, settled in, kind of, in Spain. We were a little low energy yesterday towards the end of our sail because we were just really exhausted over the sail and it was pretty taxing.
You can even hear the birds chirping this morning.
We're feeling refreshed after a good night's sleep, a good clean of the boat. Travis didn't get to wash the outside of the boat as much as he so badly wanted to get all the salt off. If you guys have been following us for a while, then you know that he is super particular about washing down the boat, like before we've even anchored. But we're going to be doing a 5-hour sail today around the corner to A Coruña, which is where we're going to do all our check-in and all that fun stuff. And we'll pick up a marina there and he'll have all the water to wash down the boat and give her a really good clean because she needs it. But below deck and cockpit area, we did a good clean last night with the hatches open, airflow coming in, and it was so nice. Just the overall temperature is so much more pleasant, even just a few degrees higher with less humidity because things are drying, like our towels and stuff. Little nooks and crannies inside cabinets that are normally damp and dripping are dry this morning, so that makes me super happy. It's so crazy how just little things like that just bring our mood up so much more. We'll be on the move momentarily once Travis is out of the bathroom. Once Travis is out of the bathroom?
I'm staying here. I'm staying protected from you.
If you tuned into our last episode, then you know that A Coruña was actually Plan B as far as destination goes after crossing the Bay of Biscay. But we ended up in this anchorage being Plan C. Most comfortable. We're pretty close haul. Yeah, we're closer to a close haul than we are a close reach. And there's some pretty big rollers coming out of that little bay as you saw. They're pretty steep. And we thought it was going to settle. There was a big system up around Ireland that's bringing all these big waves and we thought it would have settled down, but evidently not. And I think something's wrong with our little wind transducer thingy because it says we are sailing at 6.5 knots in 6 knots or 5 knots of wind. This is definitely not 5 knots of wind.
Yeah, our wind transducer, I don't think is correct. We're not doing 8 knots and 6 knots of wind.
We got maybe just under 2 hours of it like this, and then we can turn a little more downwind. Oh, look how, yeah, these are
big swells.
These are big.
Yeah, when you get this big swell closer to the shoreline here, especially the shoreline here because it's all like a hard rock face, you get a lot of bounce back, so the waves become kind of like a washing machine. You get a lot of swell coming one way and a lot of coming the other, and it's very uncomfortable. So you kind of have to get offshore just a little bit so they can calm down a little bit. But yeah, coming out of that inlet was like, they're pretty big.
Kind of settled into the waves here now, but I'm going to try and get some more footage with our Insta 360X3. It's a little bit too swelly to take the drone out, so we're going to use this and hopefully get some cool footage because we've got the super long extension stick that's 300 centimeters it goes out to, so we can capture quite far, and we'll see if the camera picks up the waves because we know the camera never does the waves justice. But I've got to turn it on and press the button before I extend it out though because it's really long. So we're going to set it on 360. And it's recording. The hard part is holding this thing out when there's wind. So we don't know what the wind is. It says it's only like, what, 4 knots? We've been really appreciating the different perspectives in sailing we can capture in less than favorable conditions using our Insta 360 camera. If you're interested in getting your hands on one, we've got an affiliate link in the description box. You'll get a free Invisible Selfie Stick with your purchase while also helping to support our channel. We're in some pretty big swell here, and you can see how the beach just disappears into it. And for reference, we're 2.5 nautical miles away from that shoreline.
The one that just passed was huge, the whole beach. Whoa!
Always fun.
Good job docking.
We got in. I'll just deal with getting out later.
Okay, we gotta show everybody how bouncy this dock was. So, I normally jump down just to start tying us off. And keep in mind, we haven't been on land for about 7 days now. And jumping off onto this, oh my gosh, my legs were like trembling. Here. So, I'm trying to hold the line, and I'm like shaking like this, and my legs are trembling, and I thought I was gonna fall in.
Yeah, you can't tell, but...
No, and then you jumped down, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're both falling in. But we're all tied up here. You did good.
Yay, we're in.
There's not very much space behind us, is there?
No, but that's why I wanted to come in this way, because we prop walk to
Port.
so when we come out, we should just swing that way, and we'll put a swing line on.
We were prepared though, because we did set up on both sides this time. We've come to learn we're not marina people, but this past year we've been more marina people than we thought we've ever been. So we did set up on both sides with the exception of just one fender. We would have just switched that really quickly, but we came in on the port side, which is what we wanted, and it was all good. So
How cool.
We're in Spain.
We're really excited to just head out and have food, but then I was looking on the Google Maps, and then like everything was closed between 4 to 8 p.m. and then we're like, right, they eat very late here and they're usually closed during those hours, so dinner's not going to happen for a few more hours. So we're just trying to figure out our clothing situation, because it's kind of like too hot to wear all these sweaters and stuff, yet we feel like we might be chilly if we wear shorts and a t-shirt. So we're trying to figure out what to wear and taking them clothes out because we've stored them all away, and then grabbing a quick bite to eat. So I'm just making avocado, chickpeas, and cottage cheese. Gonna put some olive oil, salt, and pepper on it. And as you can see, there are 2 plates or 2 bowls, which is surprising because if anybody knows Travis, this is definitely not something he would have ever eaten, but he was like, yeah, sure. Because we normally had avocado and cottage cheese spread over toast with salt and pepper and olive oil, and it was really good, and surprisingly he liked it. But we don't have any more bread, and we have chickpeas, so I'm just going to do the same, drizzle the oil and add the salt and pepper on top, and it should be delicious. So yeah, I'm just surprised Travis is eating this. Hey?
Why not?
Your palate has diversified.
It's growing slowly. My palate is the maturity of like a 15-year-old boy now.
Ooh, 15.
Yeah, I'll go up a few. It was only ever like 7 or 8.
Okay, food time and then explore time. Verdict?
Just good. It's just like the toast, but with no toast.
And chickpeas.
I dig it.
You dig it? Looks like slop now.
At about 244,000 people, A Coruña is the most populated city in Galicia, an autonomous community in northwest Spain. It's also the capital of the province of the same name. This is Old Town, and as you can probably guess, it's the oldest part of A Coruña. Our impression of the city is that this place is huge. You can immediately tell that it's an ancient medieval city, yet it also felt quite modern at the same time. As we walked through the city, we couldn't help but admire the unique architecture. It's known as the Glass City, as many of the buildings have these glass-enclosed balconies known as galerias. Here, we're walking into Maria Pita Square, the heart of the city and where Town Hall is located. We ventured in and out of the city, enjoying the seafront along one of the largest promenades in Europe. The Paseo Maritimo is 9 kilometers or 5.6 miles long. As we head out past the protection of the breakwall, we're reminded how choppy the northern coast of Spain can be. I even got a little seasick. Well, a lot seasick. Hurling over the side of the boat isn't something I've done for almost 2 years.
Alright, so we just left Akaruna and got about a 33 nautical mile sail today south, and we're gonna go to a place called Corm, I think it's called. It's a little fishing village, nice little spot to anchor, nice short day. The conditions are pretty good today, but the waves on this coast are pretty steep, so it's a lot different than what we've been sailing in. So pretty cool, learning more about every coast we explore. But very, very pretty northern Spain, like unbelievable.
So it turns out this coast is called Costa de Monte, which translates to Coast of Death, due to its big rocks, steep cliffs, and choppy seas.
Yeah, we just checked out the cities. Now we're gonna go check out this place and hopefully we can find some hiking, get out in nature a little bit. Well, typical Jibsea fashion, we were heading for that anchorage over there, but randomly decided to go another 3.5 hours and find another anchorage. The winds are supposed to be a little lighter tomorrow morning, and I think in any lighter winds than we are now, and we're in 14 to 17 knots of wind, in this sea state, it's way too rolling and it's really hard to hold the sails full. So, since we got decent winds today, we're just gonna continue on. Trying to get around the northwest corner of northern Spain before Monday, which is in a couple days. Because in the next few days after that, there's a ton of wind up here and it really funnels around the point. So we just wouldn't be going anywhere, we'd just be sitting up here. But if we get around the northwest point, we're able to continue sailing in a bit heavier winds because the land blocks a bit of that wind on how it wraps around the corner. So we'll have a bit more maneuverability to still continue onwards, because now that we're stamped into Schengen, we only have 3 months. And we need to be out of the Schengen for 3 months. So we need to figure out where we're going to be. So that's either, that's pretty far into the Med, we got to make it. So we're going to have to try to make some good ground to get into the Med. We would love to stop in every one of these little anchorages and see them, but we can't.
We're tucking away for the night before picking up the hook and heading out into seas that just seem to keep growing. Our luck runs out next sail as the conditions get bigger. Hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell and keep up with this wild ride of ours. Thanks for watching!